This is Ben Davison. Subscribe to Stephen Icon.
Alright everyone, hope you're all doing well. Now, I want to do this video as a separate video because Tyson Fury, he did like a half-hour interview with Michelle Joy Phelps, and I wanted to make this a two-part, if you like, because the first one, what I want to talk about was Tyson Fury and his thoughts on Dillian Whyte, WBC and UCAD, so go check out that video, which is right before this one. If you haven't seen it yet, you can just wait until the end of this video and it'll just pop up on your screen. Just give it a click, give it a watch. Now, if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Click that subscribe button, turn it from red to grey. You're gonna love it over here. Every day's a party. Now, Tyson Fury is talking about Anthony Joshua and Lennox Lewis. Now, I kind of stopped talking about it. I know there's been a few more things said between Anthony Joshua and Lennox Lewis since I did those 3 videos, because to be honest, I was getting a little bit bored of it. But on this one, it's interesting that Tyson Fury is actually taking the side of Anthony Joshua. Now, is this a surprise? In some ways, no, because Lennox Lewis and Tyson Fury do have their history as well. Lennox Lewis would always throw Tyson Fury under the bus. Whoever it was that Tyson Fury was fighting, whether it be David Haye, Vladimir Klitschko, or whoever, Lennox would always pick the other guy rather than Tyson Fury, okay? And, of course, even Tyson Fury's own dad was going at Lennox Lewis for quite some time. Tyson Fury threatened to meet up with Lennox Lewis and give him a good punching in, all that kind of thing. Now, their beef did kind of settle after a while. They shook hands on and all that kind of thing. And Lennox Lewis has been quite praising, should we say, of Tyson Fury, especially his performance over Deontay Wilder, where he thought that Tyson Fury beat Wilder like the rest of us did, right? But with this one, with Anthony Joshua, Lennox Lewis, just any old excuse to have a go at Anthony Joshua. But Anthony Joshua bites back, and some people are like, how can you say that about Lennox Lewis? How can you call him a clown? He's a legend of the sport, blah, blah, blah. Which is a valid point, of course. But ultimately, you know, you can praise what he's done in the ring, but you still have to be accountable for what comes out of your own mouth. Okay, for permanently throwing Anthony Joshua under the bus in favour of Wilder, and you don't criticise Wilder whatsoever, that is a personal issue that Lennox has with Anthony Joshua. It can't be seen as any other way. And that's pretty much what Tyson Fury said in this interview, where he says, well, you have to remember, Lennox Lewis is paid by the PBC. What was it that we've been saying for quite some time? Well, Tyson Fury said the exact same thing. He said that Lennox Lewis, he tends to not really look at the younger guys coming through and encourage. That's not what Lennox Lewis does. Again, he's talking about himself because he's been on the end of criticism from Lennox Lewis, and it's not always constructive criticism. It just seems to be hateful criticism of what comes out of Lennox Lewis's mouth, which is a shame, because for me, Lennox Lewis is the greatest heavyweight of all time. That's my personal opinion. Agree or disagree, of course, you're entitled to your own opinion. But what Tyson Fury is saying here is that Lennox Lewis, this is what Lennox Lewis does. Okay, he's favouring Wilder. He's being paid by the PBC. He has a personal issue with Anthony Joshua. And as he said, what's anything that Anthony Joshua does, what's it got to do with Lennox Lewis? It's got absolutely nothing to do with Lennox Lewis. But Lennox Lewis feels it necessary to come out and criticise Anthony Joshua time and time and time again. And he did say that Lennox Lewis is jealous of Anthony Joshua, not because Anthony Joshua has achieved way more than what Lennox Lewis did in his first 23 fights, etc. Not that, it's the fact that because Lennox Lewis, like all ex-fighters, are exactly that. They are ex-fighters. And they wish that they were still in the position that they once were. So, of course, they look at Anthony Joshua going, I wish I was still in my prime. I'd love to fight him. I'd love to be earning the kind of money that he's getting. I'd love to be able to get the admiration that Anthony Joshua gets from fans. I'd love to be able to get the admiration that Tyson Fury does from fans. So that's why Tyson Fury is saying that Lennox Lewis could be jealous. Not because of the achievements, but because he wishes he was still active and still doing what these guys are doing, because these guys have their career ahead of them. Lennox has it at the back of him, and a fantastic career it was, let's be honest. But as I said, Anthony Joshua, Lennox Lewis, whatever's going on, and as Tyson Fury said, in some ways he's absolutely correct on this one, where he says to Anthony Joshua, why are you worried about what this 53-year-old man is saying? You've got your job to do, which is concentrate on getting your belts back. That should be your only concern. It's okay for me to say something because I'm a rival of Anthony Joshua. And I do it too because I'm a rival. It builds up some kind of for a future fight, okay? It builds up that animosity. It builds up to be a huge fight, to a mega fight, okay? That's pretty much the gist of what it was that I was getting from Tyson. But Lennox Lewis is irrelevant when it comes to today's boxing. Listen, he's entitled to his opinion. Of course he is, like anybody else. But the fact is that he's not relevant when it comes to Anthony Joshua getting his world titles back. His opinions, Anthony Joshua doesn't want Lennox Lewis's opinions. Anthony Joshua doesn't want Lennox Lewis around him. For whatever reason, again, I think there's much more to it than what we know. Certain things behind closed doors. But in my opinion, Tyson Fury is correct. Anthony Joshua shouldn't really be biting back at Lennox Lewis. He should be going, whatever you say is whatever you say. Just stay away from me. I don't care. All right, and move on. And maybe Anthony Joshua has. He just happened to call him a clown on that one occasion when previously he didn't really think too much about Lennox Lewis, or even after that one statement. Maybe. And whatever issue Lennox has, again, be a man about it. Let it go. You know, if you're going to be critical of Anthony Joshua, at least know your facts. That's the most important thing, because Lennox Lewis has said on multiple occasions he doesn't know the facts. But anyway, I mean, I was a little bit surprised that Tyson Fury did take the side of Joshua on this one. I was a little bit surprised. But, as I said, Tyson Fury knows a thing or two about Lennox Lewis being an absolute hater of what appears to be British fighters. For whatever reason. Maybe because he didn't get the love that he felt he should have got when he was active. I mean, I loved Lennox Lewis. Okay, I supported him. But ultimately, most people throughout Great Britain supported Frank Bruno. Okay, that's just how it was. And Lennox Lewis didn't really get the credit that he deserved until the very tail end of his career. And ultimately, even after he retired, a lot of people didn't really give him too much credit until that point. In America, he was absolutely hated. And it seemed that he really wanted to win over the American crowd because he couldn't win over the UK one. And it seems even now that he's been long retired for, 20 years now? He's still trying to appease the American audience, which is why he's taking a side with Wilder potentially. But yeah, he doesn't realise that Americans, for the most part, have a deep hatred for Lennox Lewis because he beat their guys at Evander Holyfield. He beat their guy in Mike Tyson and so on. But anyway, that is what it is. So as I said, I think that what Tyson Fury was saying is absolutely spot on. Anthony Joshua shouldn't really give a monkey's what it is that Lennox Lewis says. And Lennox Lewis should keep his old arse nose out of it, is what he should do. If you don't know the facts about the Wilder-Joshua negotiations, if you don't know all the facts, don't comment. Because as Lennox Lewis said, I know what Wilder said because Wilder told me, but I don't know anything about what happened with the Joshua side. Okay, so why are you criticising Joshua with him? You know what I mean? It makes no sense to me. But anyway, that's what's going on. Interview in the description box if you haven't seen it. As I said before, if you're new to the channel, very, very welcome. Click that thumbs up. Subscribe, very important. And I'll catch you all on the next video.